Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the regions of the interior celebrate the feast of Eid al-Fitr. For the international scene, the melting of glaciers is breaking records once to the United Nations. Welcome to our newsroom. Telephone conversation between the President of the Republic and the President of the French Republic. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, spoke by phone with the French President, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, on this Saturday afternoon as part of the regular exchanges between the two heads of state. Bilateral relations between the two countries were discussed, especially in this pivotal year of the renegotiations of the defense treaty that links our two allied countries. The multi-sectoral bilateral cooperation as well as the strategic relationship were on the agenda. The two heads of state reviewed the regional issues in Africa, in particular the situations in Sudan, a friendly country that has been the scene of a fratricidal war between the country's main armed forces for exactly 1 week. There is no need to recall that President Guelleh is part of a college of heads of state from IGAD countries mandated to mediate between the two belligerents in the Sudanese crisis. The good offices missions of the President of the Republic is part of a continuous and recognized history of arbitrations of political conflict and dispute that may arise in the region. The Republic of Djibouti is aware of its geostrategic situations, is a lover of peace, and is recognized for its exceptional stability in the region. It always responds favorably to the international community whenever the situation requires it to serve as a means of securing and repatriating its national scopes up in conflict. In this regard, His Excellency President Macron, after exchanging views with President Guelleh, praised his counterpart's policy of wisdom and far-sightedness, which remains a pillar of peace. He also expressed the gratitude of the French government for all the facilities granted to the international communities in general and to France in particular for this repatriation operation. Finally, the two heads of state agreed to maintain and continue their regular contact and exchanges on bilateral, regional, and international issues. And the national concerning the regions of Arta celebrated this special day for all Muslims around the world in an atmosphere of mercy, joy, and forgiveness, and exchanges of greetings between neighbor, families, members, and relatives. From the early hours of yesterday morning, the population of the region is gathered at the main square in communion, dressed in their best clothes, all in the have celebrated this day in an atmosphere charged with joy and magnanimity, reflecting the supreme values of Islam and social cohesion. The high officials of the region joined the population for this special day for Muslims. Indeed, Eid al-Fitr, which is a major Muslim holiday, marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. This month of fasting and prayers is observed by millions of Muslims around the world. Moreover, this celebration is an opportunity to gather with family and friends, share festive meals, give charity, and celebrate the end of the fasting month with gratitude and joy.
الذين اتقوا بمفازته واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا.
After the prayer, the prefect of Artas region, Mr. Muhammad Sheikh Hassan, invited the officials of and other important personalities of the city to a breakfast on this holiday. The Eid al-Fitr was a special occasion to get together to share this moment of joy and solidarity. The guests enjoyed this copious and delicious meal. It was also an opportunity to gather around the table to share this food, but also to strengthen the links. The streets of Artas region were animated in a joyful agitations of the population with their children filled with happiness, peace, and love. Indeed, it was an opportunity to visit families and friends to wish each other a happy holiday and share their joy. In short, this day was also an opportunity to gather as Muslims to thank God for the blessing months received and to strengthen the fraternal bonds between believers. Like the rest of the world, the Muslim world, Eid al-Fitr was celebrated in Tajura. Conviviality and traditions of Eid al-Fitr is for the Tajura people is a moment of exchanges and sharing, but beginning with the collective prayers of the 6 hours of the morning went to the site arranged on these occasions to perform the collective prayers of this day. Men, women, youth from the population went to the ground set up for the prayers of Eid, chanting the takbir of Imam and Ulama. In addition, the prefect of the region is Hassan Dabali Ahmed, and the president of the regional council, Mr. Umar Hussein Umar, and the head of the army of Tajura, Colonel Major Ali Shaham Dawood, and the Wazir Muhammad Abdul Qadir participate.
وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله وبحمده بكرة وأصيلا.
After the prayer, the prefect of Tajura region, Hassan Dabli Ahmed, organized a reception ceremony at the residence with the participation of different responsible. Many elders and youth went to the prefecture to take part with the prefect of Tajura. Following the example of the Muslim world and the whole countries, the Ali Sabih celebrate yesterday morning, Friday, April 21, 2023, the Eid al-Fitr in an atmosphere of popular joy. As usual, from 6 a.m. and at sunrise, all the faithful of the city of Ali Sabih meet to participate in the collective prayers of Eid organized at the state high-level gathering in the presence of the authorities of the regions, the prefect Musa Adan Migane, the president of the regional council Sharmaki Hassan Al-Lale, the members of parliament of the region Abdou Sikiye, Ilmi Mahabe, Hassan Umar Absiye, Filsan Abdullahi. The region took part in the collective prayers of Eid, as well as the high religious dignitaries and senior officials of the civil society of the region. Now the participation is of the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Muhammad Warsama Diriye.
الله أكبر لا الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Just after this gathering of divine invocations, the officials and traditional chief ulema and other guests took the way to the prefectural residence. There they took together the traditional breakfast of the Eid, composed of yellowed and grilled pancakes to be savored and curdled milk. Then, in an atmosphere of reunion and brotherhood, multiple sweets and various drinks were served to the guests of the prefect.
شرف عدول عرب ونكسب عيده
As in all Muslim countries, the city of Dakhil celebrated Saturday morning the Eid al-Fitr very early in the morning. The Dakhil people moved massively on the site arranged for the accomplishment of the prayers of Eid al-Fitr. The prefect of the region, Adan Darar Musa, the president of the regional council, Mahad Hussein Ahmed, the vice president of the regional council, Ibrahim Guru, and the population of the region of Dakhil took part in the collective prayers of Eid al-Fitr at the site of Sheikh Mandaitu. It was a moment of joy and pity, also a meeting between thousands of Dakhil people. The same communions of heart reigned on all the other places of collective prayers of the capital and the interior region, taken by storms by faithful happy to participate in this great event marking the end of Ramadan. After the prayer, the prefect Adan Darar Musa, the president of the regional council Mahad Hussein Ahmed, received in the residence of the prefecture the officials of the officials and other important personalities of the city, the member of parliament, the regional elected officials, the head of security forces based in the regions, the head of the police detachment, and the head of the gendarmerie brigade, traditional chief, eminent ulama, and other guests. A meal composed of
Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak.
مع العيدين عيدين
عيد العافية عافية
مع العيدين عيدين عيدين
عيد العافية عافية عيد مبارك 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 عيد مبارك
مع العيدين عيدين
عيد العافية عافية
مع العيدين عيدين عيدين
عيد العافية عافية عيد مبارك عيد مبارك عيد مبارك عيد مبارك.
Following the example of the Muslim world, the region of Obok celebrated Eid al-Fitr in an atmosphere of joy and convivial. Families reunion early in the morning, men, women, and young people all headed to the usual places that hosts the prayer of the day of Eid, arranged at the place of the 27th June. The deputy prefect, Mr. Ali Makki, the president of the regional council, Muhammad Ismail, the member of parliament, Kamil Muhammad Ahmed, and the colonel of the police, Kamil Ali, colonel of the RIAO, Ilyas Omar Yusuf, as well as the population of Obok participated. After the prayer, the faithful followed the preaching by the great mufti and the Qadi of Obok, Sheikh Awalu Burkhota.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. الحذر عباد الله من دعاة الفتنة والشر. قال تعالى: ألم تر إلى الذين بدلوا نعمة الله كفرا وأحلوا.
After the prayer, the deputy prefect Ali Makki received in the residence the officials as well as other important personalities of the city, including the president of the regional council, Muhammad Ismail, the member of parliament, Kamil Muhammad Ahmed, as well as military and civilian officials and the elders of the region, in moment of conviviality around the famous morning dishes of the Eid celebration. Eid al-Fitr is also an occasion for family and friends to get together and also to forgive those who have wronged us before and to pray to God for his forgiveness and indulgence.
عيد ونكسب كل عام وانتم بخير. عيد 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 ونكسب كل عام وانتم.
Obok people celebrate Eid al-Fitr with a kermesse and musical festivity with pomp and ceremony under the aegis of the Ministry of Youth and Culture very early in the morning to celebrate. A delegation of high dignitaries of the People's Rally for Progress, RPP, led by Hussein Idris Guled, and saw the participation of the Minister of Employment, Mr. Omar Abdi Said, distributed the new clothes in favor of the orphans of the neighborhoods 4, 6, and Engela. Through this initiative, the RPP aims to relieve vulnerable families by offering their children new clothes and to celebrate Eid al-Fitr with dignity like all other children in our country. The RPP is multiplying actions for poor families, especially for children from modest backgrounds. Several parliamentarians participate in this ceremony of distribution new clothes for orphans and children from poor families. The high dignitaries of RPP, parliamentarian, and the Minister of Employment, Omar Abdi Said, was pleased with these actions of solidarity. The Youth Association of Balbala district has also closed its Ramadan football tournament with two very good teams of the town, with the 5-4 victories of the high school team of Balbala in the penalty shootout. The players have offered a quality performance, and the shares of existing supporters. The officials were able to observe many budding talents who could be trained to represent the national team. During the award ceremony, sports officials, including the director of the complex and training, Mr. Hassan Kako, the CFA and NPS, Mr. Idris Ibrahim Subane, the doctoral students, Gohar Muhammad, congratulated the player for their excellence and fair play before handing the trophy to the champions. They then encouraged the youth to persevere in their sport activities, reminding them of the importance of training and discipline. The event was a real success, bringing together hundreds of people around a common passion. It highlighted the talent of the young athletes in the community and strengthened the community spirit. The statement from the Embassy of the Republic of Djibouti in Khartoum, the staff of the Djiboutian diplomatic missions and members of the Djiboutian community in Sudan have arrived in the town of Gedarif near the borders with Ethiopia. The Qatarif near the border with Ethiopia. The convoy carrying the Djiboutian nationals is expected to head today to the Ethiopian town of Bahar Dar. The embassy is in communication and coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and on how to evacuate the citizens upon their arrival in Ethiopia. The Sudanese authorities in the Gedarif, Djibouti, in Gedarif region have provided the Djibouti missions with all the necessary support and assistance. We assure the Djiboutian people of the safety of the citizens until that moment, said Ambassador Isa Khaire Roble. And now to Mogadishu, which celebrates Eid. The brotherly people of Somali celebrate the feast of Eid al-Fitr in contemplation and joy. Earlier in the morning, there were thousands of worshippers dressed in their best clothes to flock to mosque and other spaces intended for the prayers of Eid al-Fitr, a festival that remains above all dedicated to forgiveness and mutual aid. This first day of Eid al-Fitr is an atmosphere marked by pity, joy, forgiveness, and exchanges of wishes between neighbors, families, members, and relatives. This joy was able also those of the children who had fun in the playground and the beach on this day of joy for all Muslims around the world. As soon as the end of the Eid prayers was accomplished in the big mosque and the places of prayers of the popular district and the big housing estates, the faithful hastened to return to their homes to perpetuate the rite of sacrifice, sin of solidarity and mutual aid between neighbors have marked as on every occasion this great moment of celebration. President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who took part in the Eid prayer, spoke to share these messages to the Somali people. This is a time of prayer and forgiveness. He said, we came to pray at the mosque to beg for God's mercy. He added, we are obliged to thank God who allowed us to observe the fast in peace and to have finished it in peace. He explained it in this blessed month of Ramadan. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud said, I pray to God the Almighty to protect our beloved country, to preserve its security and stability, and to make it easier for it is incumbent upon each of us to look after the best interests of our nation, its security, and to ensure that the peace of our country can be written in our national novels as well as in our collective consciences. For the international scene, glaciers melting at record pace. United Nations warns glaciers are melting at a dramatic rate and cannot be stopped. The United Nations warned on Friday as climate change indicators are breaking records in its annual State of the World's Climate Report. The United Nations World Meteorological Organization highlighted global changes on land, in the oceans, and in the atmosphere caused by record levels that of heat-trapping greenhouse gases. The report confirms that the global average temperature in 2022 was 1.15 degrees higher than in pre-industrial times in 1815, 1900, and that the last 8 years have been the warmest on records despite cooling caused by the La Nina weather phenomenon 3 years in a row. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.